Hey man, listen, with the economy in shambles the way that it is, I would be reluctant or a little bit hesitant to spend my hard-earned money on flying any airlines in America. But right now, especially American Airlines with all of these horror stories that are coming out on TikTok and other platforms. I'm gonna go ahead on and show y'all some clips of people telling us how upset and angry they are at these airlines, and then I'll give y'all my commentary at the end.
This video is for American Airlines and American Airlines only. I got a bone to pick with you right now. Today I had a flight. That flight was from Dallas to New York. We get on the plane, we take off, we're flying. We were 30 minutes out from landing, and then they gave us an announcement that they are running out of fuel. And because of that, they're gonna have to land in Philadelphia. So we land in Philadelphia, and they said, okay, we're gonna have to go to one of the little holding spots to get fuel. So we land, we go over to the little holding space, and we're waiting for fuel. It took 45 minutes for the fuel to get started. No announcements whatsoever. Then there was an announcement that the fuel was started and we're good to go. So we start pushing back. As we start pushing back, they make an announcement that there's a chance that the pilots and the crew might time out and their day might have to end, which would keep us from being able to fly. But they said that as long as they take off within the next hour, we'll be good. So they told everybody on the plane, they're like, we're pretty confident that we can get off of the ground before our time's up. We're all good. So we push off, we go over to the tarmac where you take off, and we're waiting. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then, not an hour later, 30 minutes later, they come on the intercom and they say, hey, we're timed out, we gotta go back to the gate. That obviously sucks. At this point, I'm just looking at train tickets because the train is an hour from Philadelphia to New York. But this is where it gets ridiculous. We get back to the gate because now I'm getting off the plane. They said, no, don't worry. We have a new pilot flying in from Chicago, and he just got here. He'll be here in 45 minutes. So we're sitting there waiting for the pilot, and everyone's getting a little bit restless, including myself, in fairness. So we're thinking to ourselves, we're like, can we just get off of the plane? Like, I'll just take a train, it's fine. I'm an hour away. They're like, no, you cannot get off the plane. I said, okay, I can't get off the plane, I'm just gonna sit here. So then I sit down, and they come on the intercom again, and they're like, hey, so if anybody wants to get off the plane, that's fine, but your bags are gonna fly with this flight, meaning you will not get your bags for a couple of days, maybe a little over a week, because you'll have to mail them to yourself or go get them at the airport in New York. So a lot of the people didn't check in bags. I did. So all the people who just have carry-ons get up and they start getting ready to get off the plane because they just told us that that's allowed. They get on the intercom again. They go, just so that you know, we have an agent who's going to have to write down every single person's name who is choosing to get off of the plane. And then we'll let the captain on, and then we'll push back. Half the plane was getting ready to leave. So they're writing down names one by one. This takes 30, 40 minutes. So everyone's getting off. I sat back down because I don't want to have to go back to the airport to get my check back.
Please do not leave the boarding area. The new flight attendants have been assigned. We just don't know where they are, so they should be there shortly.
Did you hear that? We haven't even gotten to this part of the story yet. So then, after 30 minutes of them writing down random people's names, they get back on the intercom. They're like, actually, we're deboarding everybody, so everyone needs to get up and get off. So we deboard, we get to the gate where we're gonna eventually have to get back onto the plane, and they tell us that if you have checked bags on the plane, you have to wait here until we find a new pilot and a new crew. And you can't go anywhere unless you wanna have to go mail your luggage to yourself. And now they just told us, right now, that the new flight attendants were assigned, but they don't know where they are. So, American Airlines, get in the comments, figure it out, help me out.
Once the flight attendants get here, sign will tell us it's okay, we will start reboarding. So please, pull your boarding passes back up if you need to.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
I never imagined I would have to choose between $793 or risking my 2-year-old being left behind. As a wife and mother of 5, I've been through many difficult moments. But nothing prepared me for what happened to my family at the American Airlines counter last night. And I'm sharing this because no family should ever experience what we did. Months before our trip, we booked our flights from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. On our departing flight, our 6-month-old and 2-year-old travel as lap children. American Airlines reviewed our birth certificates, passports, accepted our documentation, and we arrived without a single issue. Then came our flight home. Less than an hour before boarding, we were told our 2-year-old could no longer travel the same way she had just 2 weeks earlier. We calmly explained that nothing changed. We showed her birth certificate, we showed her passport, and proof from photos that we've taken that she had already traveled on the outbound flight. We weren't asking for special treatment. We were simply asking American Airlines to honor the reservation that they had already accepted. We spoke to managers, supervisors, and then, instead, we were told that unless we paid $793 immediately, our daughter would not be allowed to board. Y'all, imagine standing in an airport late at night with 4 children, 3 toddlers and a baby, and your husband, watching the clock count down to your flight, while someone tells you your only option is to come up with nearly $800 on the spot. That's not a choice. That's pressure. That's fear. We pleaded for someone to simply review the situation fairly. During that process, we were told the American Airlines help desk indicated our daughter did not require another ticket based on her age. Yet we were still instructed to pay because, as we were told, that was management's decision. And at that moment, even American Airlines appeared to have conflicting answers about its own policy. We paid because we believed we had no other choice. They asked us, "Are you willing to pay the $793?" And I said, "No, I'm not willing, but I'm being forced." Then it got worse, y'all. The ticket was printed as an adult ticket, not a child ticket. Our 2-year-old was seated away from our family. We had to ask complete strangers to switch seats so we could sit together. We weren't given a receipt before being rushed to the gate. And yes, losing $793 hurts. Not because we didn't have it, but they didn't know we had it. It's still a financial burden regardless. But we were even hurt because we felt powerless as parents, watching our children witness us begging to be heard, feeling like our family had no voice. No parent should ever be put in that situation, in that position. And again, I'm not sharing this to attack anyone. I'm sharing this because families deserve dignity, consistency, and compassion. American Airlines, we're asking you to do what's right. Review what happened. Refund our $793 that we were forced to pay. Please investigate this situation. Investigate your employees. Your employees were rude. No one should endure what we had to endure, because this wasn't just about the ticket, y'all. It was about how a family was treated. And I'm asking for help. I'm asking for answers immediately.
I almost never do stuff like this, but American Airlines, I think we need to talk. Look, I've been stuck in the city of Watertown, New York since very early Saturday morning when my first flight was canceled. You've canceled roughly 5 or 6 of my flights since then. I just got a notification right now that you canceled another one of my flights. Look, I'm not even mad about that. The weather happens, things happen. I'm trying to make the best of it. I've been trying to keep an optimistic attitude. I booked a last-minute show with my band. We had a lot of fun last night. That was cool. Keep thinking I'm going to get to leave, but then I don't get to leave Watertown, New York. And again, I'm trying to keep an optimistic attitude, but I've been here now for like 4 extra days, and you haven't offered me any compensation whatsoever or anything. But the thing that actually upsets me is that I just got my notification that another flight was canceled tomorrow morning, and so I had to go back into your app and rebook my flight again. In the app, then I see a notification where you're trying to upsell me to upgrade my flight for $1,500 fucking dollars. There is no planet where I'm going to give you $1,500 after you just canceled 6 of my flights. So to the marketing team, the in-app team, I think maybe you shouldn't be sending these push notifications or these offers to upgrade to people who have been stranded places for fucking close to a week. Now I think that getting this notification today, this might be my breaking point. $1,500? Absolutely not. You should be begging me to fly with you. Why would I ever fly with you again? Get the hell out of here.
American Airlines rage baited me yesterday, and I'm going to tell you about it. So I've had a flight booked for the past couple of months to come see my best friend, and I had a flight scheduled from my city to a connection to another connection to her city. So I had 2 connections. My first connection was in Dallas, and my second connection was in Charlotte, and I got a notification yesterday morning before my flight that my Dallas plane was being delayed for maintenance. Then I found out that my flight now was landing in Charlotte at 10:30, and my flight was leaving at 10:40. So I had 10 minutes to go to a completely different terminal in the back of the airport. So I just figured that I'm probably not gonna make this flight. So I call American Airlines, and they pretty much are not helpful with a solution and tell me I'm gonna have to try to talk to someone at the Charlotte airport when I get there after I've already missed my flight leaving to see if I can get a hotel. So then I get on the plane and I go to Dallas, and once I get to Dallas, I start looking at my app, and it says that I can then change my flight. So I changed my flight to a different connection where I don't have to go to Charlotte at all. So that took out the issue I was having where I was gonna miss my connection. So then once I get to the gate for my new flight, they let us know that the plane has been double booked and we now do not have a plane. So we had to change gates, and I also found this out 15 minutes before we were supposed to fly out. So I go to the other terminal and I sit down and we're waiting. We're supposed to leave in 10 minutes, and then they let us know we're delayed for another hour. So as we're sitting there, we don't have a plane. We're delayed because of some weather issues, which actually didn't end up being a problem at all. The flight stewardess comes up to everybody and says that they're gonna give out $2,400 in travel credit if you would like to change your flight and stay overnight or connect differently to your ending location. I needed to be at that airport that I was flying to, so I didn't take the money, but in retrospect, I wish that I had. So I ended up getting on my last connection and landing at like midnight at the airport near where my best friend lives. And I just want to say, American Airlines, you let me down every single time I fly with you, and I'm still gonna fly with you again.
American Airlines, I have the biggest bone to pick with you. What do you mean throughout these last 2 weeks I've had the worst experience with this one airline? And it's not just me experiencing these problems, because I see other people on TikTok complaining. 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to go on a trip to Alabama, right? Super random place, it's irrelevant. Point is, we have to be at the airport earlier, and our flight was at 6. Okay, well, we all got together and we packed our bags at this specific time, went to bed at a specific time just so we can wake up at 2 a.m., grab our stuff, take it in the car, and drive to that airport. We get to the airport, and our flight, again, was supposed to be at 6 a.m. So we come in and we check in, and they're like, oh, your flight got canceled and moved to 7 p.m. at a whole nother airport. Okay, I'm just we're at the airport at 3 a.m. at this point, just to find out our flight got canceled and moved. And mind you, that other airport was 45 minutes away. So we go back home, we sleep, get like 2 more hours of sleep max. Then we have to go all the way back and drive like 45 minutes to this other airport just to get in there. Once we pass security, here's where it all begins. We came and found our gate and sat at the gate for about an hour, and then they had to literally like take our gate and move it all the way across the airport. So we walked all the way across, found our new gate, sat there for about 30 minutes, they moved it again. And this happened about 4 to 5 times. So not only did the gates keep changing, but our flight also kept getting delayed. And like, we got to Alabama at 1 a.m. at this point. Like, we were supposed to be there at 10. It was 1 a.m. And then we still had an hour drive to where we were trying to go. Okay, well, 2 weeks pass, and now we're here. So today we were at an airport in Florida, basically, right? And we had to go to North Carolina. From North Carolina, we're supposed to go back to Virginia. So we get on the flight to North Carolina, and I think the flight might have gotten delayed by a bit, but it's okay. Maybe not, I don't remember. And so we like get on the flight, everything's fine. It's shorter than it was expected, which was good. But basically we get here to this airport at 7 p.m. Well, we find out that our 8 p.m. flight was delayed till 11 p.m. So we were like, okay, cool. Now we have about a few hours to just walk around and like find our gate and just walk around, I guess. So that's what we did. Well, we get to our gate and we're waiting. We're about to board. All of a sudden, flight is canceled. Canceled. Literally just canceled. And we're like, okay, let's go see if we can get another flight. We walk all the way across the airport to like the customer service area for our airline, which was American Airlines. And they tell us that the next flight that was possible was 11 p.m. the next day. It was 10 p.m. of that day, by the way. Like, this is, it's 2:41 as I'm recording this a.m. Like, consider this yesterday. Literally last night, 10 p.m., we found out that our next flight is the next day of 11 p.m. Wow. And we were trying to get something closer, right? Like, we're like trying to like, okay, could we do earlier? Is there anything earlier? No. Some people's flight that were supposed to be on our flight genuinely got moved to Thursday. It's Wednesday. I mean, which is like not bad, but yesterday was Tuesday is what I'm saying. So then we tried to go get a sleeping pod, but not only is it $350 for some reason per night per person, they're fully booked. So we've been in this, like, what's this called? Like a food court. We've been in this food court ever since, I want to say like 10 p.m. I don't remember the times, but like maybe like from 11 till now. And we are gonna wait and see if we can get on a flight earlier. And they did give us a flight for standby for 7 in the morning, so we have to be at the gate at like 6. But not only don't, like, that's a standby flight, so we might not even get the flight, and that's what I'm saying, and we have to wait till 11 p.m. and I can't do that. And we also don't have our suitcases. All I have is my phone and my wallet. Like, what? But yeah. So American Airlines, get your crap together, because what the heck is going on?
Worst flying experience ever. Do not fly with American Airlines. Like, I legit cannot make this up. Our flight was delayed for 3 hours because apparently there was no pilot, and then they made us board the plane and sit there for another hour, and then made us deplane. So now we're just like all out here waiting, and we don't even know if we can make it back to Toronto or not. Like, this is absolutely insane. It's like almost 5 hours of waiting. We're supposed to land by now. Like, it's absolutely insane.
At this point, I'm convinced that American Airlines sucks. I usually don't fly with them, but I'm flying with them today. And every time I fly with them, they delay my flight. How do y'all delay my flight every time I fly with y'all? And it's only been 3 times. I know that trend that say surviving. We're making a Netflix documentary of surviving, whatever. I need to make a Netflix documentary of me surviving American Airlines.
Last week, I was supposed to fly from Houston to Chicago, and everything went well at first. They were on time. We were supposed to depart at 11:30. We all boarded in time. Then things quickly went downhill. So we're getting ready to head out, and then they say, oh, there's actually a huge storm that's going to be sitting right on top of the airport, so we're going to have to wait. Okay, totally understand. That's out of everyone's control. So we end up sitting there for almost 2 hours while they wait for the storm to move on and pass. And then they say, okay, actually, we think we're going to be able to sneak out of here before the next wave of storms come through. So after 2 hours of sitting there, they prepare the cabin for taking off. As we're about to head out again, they go, oh, problem, the crew has timed out. You'd think that's something that they would be thinking about while we're sitting there for 2 hours on the tarmac waiting out the storm, but I guess not. So they say, everyone stay on the plane. We're supposed to get a new pilot coming in from Miami shortly. And then another hour goes by and we're still sitting there on the plane. Of course, people start getting restless, and they say, if you get off the plane, you cannot get back on. You will not be able to get your checked luggage. So a couple of people choose to get off, and then finally, we've been waiting, and they say, oh, sorry, we can't find the crew, actually, so we're gonna have to get everyone off the plane. So we all have to get off the plane, okay? And then we're sitting there, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting there. So I and many others on my flight ended up sitting at the airport for a minimum of 10, 11 hours because they kept saying, anytime now, the crew's gonna get here, we're gonna find a crew. And then, oh, actually it's been delayed another hour. And people are getting very upset because it's like, I see next door, the gate right next to us, they're flying from Houston to Chicago. There were 3 flights that flew from Houston to Chicago in the time that we were sitting there at the gate. And of course, a lot of people were trying to get on, but the wait list was astronomically long. They were full flights to Chicago. And at one point, the gate agents just disappeared. They just left the gate and left a QR code behind for customer service. They just didn't want to deal with it. So our original departure time was 11:30 in the morning. And I think about like 7 or 8 p.m. is when it got pushed to 1 in the morning. And then at that point, I was like, there is no way this flight is going to take off. I'm very chronically ill. I was crashing out. I felt horrible. I felt so sick. So I finally was like, you know what? I am giving up. So I got a hotel in the airport and I changed my flight to take off the next morning. I have no idea if that flight ended up taking off or not. And I honestly can't be bothered to check. But it's like, you're telling me in the at least 14 hours, who knows if it actually took off at 1 a.m. or if it took off at all. In 14 hours between our original departure to the supposed alleged departure at 1 a.m., you couldn't find a crew. Okay. And of course, because I had a checked bag, I didn't have it that night for the hotel. I'm chronically ill, so everything I needed to manage my illnesses was in there. So American Airlines, that was ridiculous. Terrible.
Hey man, for the average American, catching a flight, taking a vacation for a birthday, for a vacation, business, whatever it is no small feat. People have to save up their money. People have to budget. They plan for months, years sometimes, only to get to the airport and this type of stuff to happen, and then for them to treat you like you're a second-class citizen, talking about something you can't board off, you can't board on. We may have to stop because the pilots have been flying too long, so we have to get you a new pilot. Nah, man, this is just too much, bro. People work too hard for their money. People work too hard for their cash, man. And for you to not treat them like the customer is always right. Because growing up, that's what I always heard. But why, when I became an adult, it seems like all of that went out the window. I know how inconvenient it is to go to the airport and miss your flight. Because the place that you had to be at had a itinerary. So if you don't show up on time, you miss out on all of the stuff that you had planned, man. And these airlines don't want to, give you your money back. They want to make it hard for you to get a refund. It's not headed in a good place, man. But listen, like, comment, subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed the video.